Hello, everybody. A solemn, Connor, somber, I should say, not solemn. Leeds United relegated from the Premier League. We are here early on your bank holiday Monday to discuss everything LUFC, to discuss the predicament we're in at the minute, and to get your thoughts. Obviously, I did my little rant yesterday, post game. Couldn't really come on. It was my break at work actually, because obviously City kicked off at the same time as Leeds. But I didn't manage to get your thoughts in. I'd love to have done a live stream, but thank you so much to everybody who viewed it. I think it's on about 25,000 views for a post-match reaction, which is great. As you can see, it wasn't in the setup and all this sort of good stuff. So, yeah, really appreciate your thoughts. I'm here today to talk a plan of action, to talk to you guys about what you think. I'm really interested to get your thoughts here as well. And please get your comments in the section below. This is going to be a bit of an interactive forum. We've probably got around 40 minutes. My thoughts after barely sleeping on it. I genuinely think I had about 2 or 3 hours sleep last night. I'm knackered. I don't know if you guys are, but Leeds were just playing in my head all night. The scenario, the situation, where we're going, how we're going to do things, how we're going to get ready. And as Ken says, sorry, I'll get into you, Cornish, in just a second, mate. From the ashes rises the phoenix. That's what we need, Ken. That's what we need, my friend. So, let's get into a couple of your comments. Morning, Connor. Official O-Dog says, morning, Connor, have they chilled out with the tweet? Yeah, I'll get into that, mate. It's quite serious, to be honest. Twitter was just mind-boggling last night, but it is what it is. Morning, mate. Love the channel. God, this car crash of a season is over. Rob says if we keep anything that resembles our defence at the moment and Bamford leading the line in the Championship, we're going straight down to League One. Morning, all. My 4-year-old not had me up just in time. Top man. Morning, Connor. Did you see the open letter sent by Central AFC by Lust? Great content. I didn't, Nige. Please let me know what they've said, pal. As I said to you guys last night, I tried to message Rads last night. You managed to get a response from him before. A couple of responses, but he's not said anything now. I don't think I'm on his agenda, which is fair enough. I don't think Leeds are on his agenda at the minute. Morning, thought the club statement was empty of any decent direction. Yeah, I thought so, Pill. I mean, unbelievable how there's no accountability whatsoever on the club statement. No, as it was said, no name, no nothing on the ownership, just nothing. And that is a blanket statement, which means nothing, which, we've heard from the owner that it was impossible to get relegated. We've heard from Angus Kinnear before, I'm paraphrasing, that it was pretty much all Bielsa's fault, which we were led to believe. Victor Orta shushing the fans. I mean, the skepticism involved with this board is on a different level, and if you believe anything that they come out and say, then maybe you need to do a rain check and start again. I do not believe anything, and I haven't for a while now, that comes out of these guys' mouths. And when Rads did say it's impossible to get relegated, I had a sharp shudder go down my spine in pre-season. So, and it's so Leeds United that we are now relegated. It is just unbelievable. But who wrote the club statement? Nobody knows. Was it Kinnear? Because he's the only one left. Was it the kit man? Who knows? Connor in the cupboard. Yeah, 100%. Nice one for sure. Right, let's get on to this, I guess, everybody. Before we get into the Leeds news, I just want to touch on this a little bit. I don't want you guys to, I'm not going to go off on this or anything like that. Last night, there was a little bit of a Twitter altercation, which is proper, really hardcore territory for all of you that, are on Twitter. It is just full of faceless cowards, basically. And overall, it's been bugging me for a long time now. Basically, the One Leeds account was deactivated last night, and my personal account was deactivated last night. I know a lot of you guys get your news from One Leeds and my personal account when there's updates and stuff like that. I'm going to be moving to Instagram for the time being. So if you guys want to move over there, it is One Leeds FC. And the reason being, everybody, is because this season's been really tough as content creators. I've spoken to a lot of content creators behind the scenes, and Twitter is the most toxic app going. And, people can freely send you whatever they want. They can tag you in stuff. And it just got to a point last night where I just thought, this is, I'm not signed up for this. I'm here to talk about Leeds United. When me and Wayneman started out 5 years ago, and I was there in Australia with a little phone. I did it because I love Leeds and I wanted to talk about Marcelo Bielsa's Leeds and talk about the good times coming back. I didn't start all this crap to get, direct messages telling me to go kill myself and lies spread and all this sort of stuff. I didn't start it for any of this rubbish. And it was quite sad last night. An individual who I'm not going to name because I think this individual loves that. Took a picture of what I said about Weston McKennie during the game, which was essentially that, in my opinion, Weston McKennie won't be missed. And then he released some direct messages, which is absolutely fine if he wants to do that. It's his prerogative. And then he left out about 4 pages worth of direct messages that we'd sent each other, and basically just had a little screenshot, which basically said it'd be great to get Weston McKennie on the channel. Right at the start of his tenure at Leeds. I think it was post-Forest where he had a really good game. Me and this individual messaging. Obviously, he messaged me first, which he's missed out. Anyway, long story short, it's very, very petty. But I'd have liked to get McKennie on the channel. Thought this guy was a little bit of a direct route. He said he'd set it up, never did. For some reason last night he decided to conduct an entire Twitter space on myself, which was pretty tough, to be honest. I'm here for Connor's funeral was a comment that probably stuck in my head a little bit. A lot of swear words associated with my name. Yeah, so it's not great, everyone. So I just thought to myself, it was a little bit of the cherry on top of the ice cream, the cake, I should say, and stuff that's built up over a while on Twitter where people just can't seem to articulate their opinions or understand an alternative point of view without sending death threats or just giving that individual just abuse, which we've seen with the Leeds players this year. I did mention earlier on that content creators get it as well, not on the same scale, but I just thought to myself, I just can't be bothered with it anymore. It's not something that I'm interested in. It's not something that I need to do. I apologise if a lot of you guys get your news from One Leeds and Connor McGilligan, the Twitter site. But yeah, just head on over to Instagram, One Leeds FC. Instagram seems to be a much nicer platform where you don't get abused for absolutely no reason. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys asking me about that and stuff like that. I know there's loads of people who just don't care, and I understand. I just wanted to get that one out there. Anyway, I made a Twitter account just to follow you. God, sorry, mate, sorry. It's toxic. It's an absolute cesspool. There's a lot of you saying, "Hey, mate, morning." Connor says, "Neil, a good morning, mate. Need action at the club this week. None of this fanning around like we've seen recently." I agree. Connor, I'm Plymouth, mate. I'll stand you a few beers when you come to Home Park and play the Argyle. Yeah, it'd be good, mate. Make sure you come up. It'll be nice to actually get to a few games next year, I think. That'll be really, really nice. I hate Twitter. Yeah, everyone's brave behind a keyboard. Oh, they all are, mate. Yeah, they all are. Anyway, it is what it is. Connor, the 2003-2004 side went down in 19th spot, but also that team would have been beaten by this team 5-0. This team is bad. Viduka would have scored a hat-trick. Yeah, not great. Not an ideal situation, but I guess comparing eras is difficult, isn't it? But yeah, Leeds United are just in a period of flux at the minute, I think, and until we get a director of football, and you can't really see Leeds doing anything. We can't make movements on signings, but then to get a director of football, and you need an owner in. If you haven't got an owner in, what are you supposed to do? It is just absolute carnage at the minute. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure what Leeds are doing. This needs to start now, by the way. The plan of action, the plan of getting this club back into the fans' hands, really. And I think at the minute it's just a little bit toxic, and it'll be toxic it is toxic online. It'll be toxic in the stadium as well. It's toxic everywhere with Leeds United, unfortunately, and that is what the club owner has done. He's not respected the fans enough to go through with his promises. He's not given due diligence to his football club, and the fans suffer. And the fans are always the last line of defence, aren't they? They always suffer, and we will always be the ones who are here. It won't be any daft accounts or any. It will be the Leeds fans that will remain. It's a sad state of affairs. It really is a sad state of affairs. Pill says nearly 600 in the room. Give Connor a like. Appreciate that, mate. You're trending on Twitter here in the States. Oh, great. Yeah, there we go, mate. Fantastic. This is to buy a beer, mate. I wish you and the Leeds fans all the very best and look forward to seeing you when you're promoted as champions next season, my friend. Yeah, Mike, congratulations, mate. Obviously, Everton fan there. Everton actually showing some grit, determination and fight yesterday, where Leeds just laid on the back and died straight away. Again, you know, a title race and a relegation race where they have it on, you know, it's normally like a three-way thing or a two-way thing, and you think to yourself, oh my God, this is so exciting. Not with Leeds. Not with Leeds United. We just concede, which is good, within 90 seconds, and then just get battered. Not even battered. Tottenham were really poor, but any other team in the Premier League would have beaten Tottenham yesterday. I thought they were just poor. But we are a championship outfit, and you take your Nyonto, your Somervilles out of that, and it's a real dour state of affairs. Planning to buy another club for most of the year shows where Rad's mind has been. Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you're not where you are, you know, when you're not where you should be, I should say. Yeah, at Ellen Road, when your team is about to get relegated, you are the man who's put us in this predicament. You are the man who's put us in this situation, and you're off in Italy. And he sacked everyone, hasn't he? He's sacked everyone behind the scenes. Supposedly, he's sacked physios, he's sacked doctors. He's basically had a stage 5 meltdown when Bielsa has left, and he's not got a clue what to do. You know, he's sacked, obviously, yeah, Bielsa, which, yeah, fair enough. Okay, that's your decision, but what's your succession plan? Oh, it's Jesse Marsh. You sack him. Grazia. 12 games left. You think, okay, this is the plan. Done it before. Sack him. Sam Allardyce for 4 games. Sack him, which he will be. You know, he'll be relieved of his duties at the end of the season, and rightly so. But it's just been an absolute carnage pit for Leeds United, and Andrea Radrizzani is just he seems just so unstable in his ownership model, and who he trusts and who he doesn't trust. And you know, I'd have liked to have maybe seen him involved a little bit more with Victor Orta. It seems like Victor Orta just had the reins for however many years, and that is the problem with Leeds, really. You know, the recruitment's just been absolutely minging. I mean, when you go into a season and your 2 starting right backs are Luke Ayling and Rasmus Christensen, I mean, you're supposed to upgrade on players. Rasmus Christensen, come on. Let's have a look. Lapis to take on it. These brave keyboard Muppets don't represent the true fan. You and Joe have been brilliant again. It's all opinions at the end, and theirs don't count. Thank you for this. Yeah, cheers, Lapis, and shout out to Joe as well. Me and Joe have come up together, really. If you used to watch our previous channel that we were involved in, and yeah, Joe gets it the same. Everyone, you know, me and Joe had a conversation last night, and we frequently have conversations about the way social media is going, and you know, how to mitigate against it, really. Because you know, the thing is with myself, I can't speak for Joe, but we come on here and we give our opinion and we're honest. You know, I've not shied away from anything this season. You guys know that. You know, when we're talking about certain individuals, players, managers, whatever, I'll come here and be honest. And a lot of people don't like that. They do not like that. They don't like the fact that, I mean, a guy offered me out for a fight in Harrogate. Don't know why Harrogate, and I don't know why I need to fight him, because I said Bamford wasn't good enough. So this is what you're dealing with constantly. So yeah, they don't like it. They do not like it whatsoever. So yeah, that's why it's great to have a community like I've got. Joe's got a community like he's got as well. I'm sure we share a lot of you guys as well. Because we actually can have a conversation on here, and it's articulate and it's intelligent, and you know, you guys give me reasons to think, I give you reasons to think, I hope so. But you've always got to be true to yourself on this platform, and I'll never, the day I'm not true to myself and I'm coming on here and I'm scared about what people are going to say to me and all this sort of stuff, I'll just stop doing it. You know, I'll just stop. There's no point, because I'm not being true to you guys either. So yeah, anyway, 70 plus goals conceded this season. No, we should put the blame on anyone other than the defence and keeper. Yeah, I don't think the midfield has helped, to be honest with you. Connor, if you get invited again on TV, this is the thing, Elvis, not going to get invited on the overlap anymore, which I'm gutted about. Really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed representing Leeds United on there. The voice of the people. That's a nice comment. But no, that was great. I really enjoyed doing that. And yeah, it's a shame that's not going to happen anymore. Hopefully they'll do a championship one, but I don't think they'll get the views for that one. So this is why I need your support, guys. I need your likes. I need any help you can give us now, because the work's going to get harder for me, and And obviously without that Premier League attention now, it is like everything, isn't it? When the eyes aren't on you, it's slightly different. Dally Paul says they think you're a British Justin Timberlake. I'll take that. I can sing for them if they want as well. It's all right though, Connor. We played 6 defenders, 2 midfielders and 2 attackers in a must-win game to try to keep a clean sheet and ended up conceding 4 anyway. Might as well gone for it, mate. Thought, yeah, you're right, Smith. I don't understand why they didn't do that. Why? And Big Sam's culpable 100% yesterday, and yesterday is another massive reason as to why he shouldn't get the job. He's very one-dimensional, and it was all about experience with Big Sam, and experience is going to get you out of this. Well, you've got to really be pragmatic here, Sam. You've got to look at the group of players that you've got. And I know he's only had 4 games, but when you've still got artillery on the bench, like, Rutter came on yesterday, I thought he was one of the better players. Again, that's why I've not said anything about Rutter and I've just given him support, because I don't like the fact that he's just been hung out to dry by loads of fans because of his price tag. He's a kid, and Victor Orta needs blaming for that. For the amount we spent on him, the expectation, and the fact that he's just been laid out to dry by many managers. Oh, you're not playing, all this sort of stuff. You can even lay that at McKennie's door a little bit. At the start, I defended Weston McKennie a lot, but I think the thing which has upset me a lot about McKennie is I don't think there's desire there. I thought yesterday he was okay, to be honest with you, and I tried to base it on a game-by-game thing, but I think his general sphere at Leeds United, I don't think there's been enough there from him to warrant that price tag, and I think he can give more. I think a player with his reputation, his ability, the fact he's had over 100 caps in Serie A, I think he can give more than he's given. I think he should have been the beacon of light, and I know that's a lot of pressure, but big players step up in big moments, and I think Weston McKennie, for the amount that was, like Rutter in a sense, but obviously McKennie's older, he's got a lot of experience for his national side and Juventus. I think for a player of that reputation that came, he should have delivered a lot more. Rutter, it's very, very different because he's a kid. Rutter for me should have come on. Nonso, it was a joke at the end, wasn't it, when he was brought on for about 90 seconds. And Somerville, Crescencio Somerville, he's been, I think this season, he's been impressive in periods. So you've got artillery on the bench. He just didn't use it. He's not interested, is he? You're right. I mean, I counted Robles, was it Christensen, Ayling, Strout, Koch, Verber, Forshaw, and there might have been another one. So I counted about 7 defensive players because I don't class Forshaw as an attacking player whatsoever. So that's how he started the game. And I understand he was probably trying to stay in the game, but he needs to go and watch Leeds. Leeds are always going to concede, so you might as well just go for it. Attack is the best form of defence, in my opinion. What do you make of Verber, says Bob's89. I think he's been overrated because he's been compared to the rest of the crap defenders. Bob's, I think you're spot on. I think you're absolutely spot on. I think there's been a lot of positive comments back from Verber. Correctly so. I thought he came in, did an okay job, but he beat the chest a little bit, didn't he? He was always trying to G the fans up, and he came in and he was okay. I thought he was all right, but there's no chance he's as good as a lot of people are making out. He's not. We wouldn't have signed him for 10 million if he was that good. You know what I mean? You can apply that to Rasmus Christensen, and guys, you know what? For the performances that he's put in, you can also apply that to Mark Rocker. You can this season. I know a lot of you guys get upset by me giving him some support. I just think Rocker's got potential, but I know you guys all disagree, which is fair enough. He's not been good this season. What do you think to Dan James in the Championship? Mikey, I think he could be okay. I think he might be okay, but once again, it depends on the manager. In a Swansea side, which was all about 4-3-3 with him, McBurney, and there was another one, I can't remember who the other one was, and they were all about counter-attack, and I believe it was Graham Potter, but it was still about keeping the ball on the floor and transitional and hitting teams on the break, and then coming to Leeds United and playing very, very similar, a bit of a press, Leeds playing transitionally, a counter-attack, us being rapid and good on the ball. Are we going to get a manager next season who doesn't want the ball? Are we going to get a manager next season who doesn't want the ball on the floor? And is all about the ball in the air? I mean, surely if they make that mistake again, we're going to be looking down rather than up again. They need to get a possession-based manager in as soon as possible, as soon as the ownership's sorted out. But it all depends on what caters to the players, really. Will Dan James fit in that system? Now, a player that I am looking forward to seeing in the Championship is Archie Gray. You know, you look at someone like Alex Scott, who's thrived in the Championship this season at Bristol City. I see very big similarities with him and Archie Gray. You look at someone like Darko JB. You know, I think his ball carrying abilities, I think how press resistant he is. I think, you know, the fact that he's had experience at national level for the under 20s. You know, he scored the other day, I believe it was against Uruguay or Argentina in a very important game. I think that's a nice little foundation. But the amount of crap that Leeds need to get rid of in 10, 11 weeks is staggering. And I don't think Southampton, maybe Leicester to be fair, but there's no way Southampton have that same churn of players that Leeds are going to have. And that's the worry for me. It's, are we going to be efficient? Are we going to get an owner in, a sporting director, a manager, their philosophies and ideas, which then embed with the new players as well, and also sell players as well, because that's going to bring in revenue that Leeds are then going to have to use this year, or pay off existing instalments, which they do still have, because they've gone balls deep on being in the Premier League for a number of years, hence why they've spent over 100 million quid, and there's instalments there as well. So, yeah, there's a lot to take into consideration, everyone. There is so much to do. I mean, you're literally looking at an entire restructure of the football club, an entire restructure. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. It will. Daniel, hi Daniel, thanks for your donation, bud. Who do you think the next manager will be? It's hard without an owner, Daniel. It's really hard to say, mate. I don't know. I've no idea. It's the, you know, if the owner come in and have ambition, you know, it'd be nice to target, you know, a Potter or a Rodgers. That'd be great, you know. And if they throw money at it, would either come down. I know Rodgers has been linked with Tottenham, but everybody's linked with Tottenham. Are they going to wait out for a Premier League job? That is likely, but it'd be fantastic to get one of those two in. I'd probably prefer Rodgers. Are they going to go for Iriola again? I mean, that'd be very, very nice, a possession-based manager. But I mean, all three are possession-based managers. But yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, my preference would be someone like Brendan Rodgers, but it depends on the ownership once again. I'm hoping with the new ownership, there is straightforward plans. Nothing Hollywood, nothing exuberant. You know, exuberant in the right instances, but not exuberant in every instance. I hope we just go for straightforward signings. As I've mentioned on here before, and as Ethan from Online mentioned, who's a great account, you go down, you know, you get a top manager in who plays possession-based football, you get the best striker in the division, and you know, the formula you play is possession-based, you know, overall, and that frames who you are as a football club. Sam H says, hope you're okay, Connor, ignore the haters on Twitter. Sam, honestly, mate, and it probably comes across as they're getting to me, mate. It's just one of those things which I just can't be arsed with. You know, you know, none of them. Every time I go to the ground, I've never had one bad experience. Never had one bad experience. Everyone's lovely. You always, you know, I've had a pint with a lot of you. You know, I went to the Palace game not long ago, and we had some cracking interactions there. You know, lovely people. You know, people coming over from Ireland. I had one couple who come over from Colombia who recognised me, which was amazing. You never have a bad interaction. It's just people online, and you get rid of that negativity. It doesn't matter, and that's essentially what I've done. I've just got rid of it. And you know, a lot of these people who are here for Leeds right now will not be here for Leeds next season. Trust me on that one. David sent £3. Cheers, Dave. Hope you're all right, mate. Connor, is your microphone the upside down? You got me thinking now. Is it upside down? Potentially, but it's still doing the job, innit? But potentially. Have at least got any links with managers? Just Rodgers, I think, mate, at the minute. That's what I'm thinking. Who do we sign for director of football? There's rumours of Stuart Webber, but I'm not sure about him, to be honest with you. He's very vocal, and you see this a lot. He came out and basically said last season that he was going to climb Everest. And he wanted to climb Everest and essentially no one to bother him over the summer months. Stuart, you're a director of football, and I know a lot of Norwich fans have been upset with Stuart Webber. There's been a lot of controversy there. He's very, very vocal in what he thinks. Do you want that again, or do you want a silent operator in the background like Brentford, like Fulham, like Brighton, like these clubs have? I would rather the latter, to be honest with you. So I'm not 100% sure. I know the Genk sporting director's been mentioned, but that's going to be fascinating to see what happens, really. Webber has a similar a record similar to Water. Yeah, potentially. 895 in the room. Smash a like, guys. Yeah, guys, nearly 1,000 of you in the building. So please make sure you're liking the video. As I say, we're not on Twitter anymore. So please do this. Really appreciate that. I love from LS11 Connor. Thanks JJE. Really appreciate that. Yeah, ain't that the truth, mate? Ain't that the truth? Connor says, great name, by the way, pal. Love the content. Connor, watching your videos just made me glad all Leeds fans are suffering alone. That's it, mate. And these are cathartic, aren't they? It's therapy. Just want a professional attitude from the board. Ryan says, Sinistera to stay. Yeah, I called this not a while ago, to be honest. Potentially, there is definitely potential for, Sinistera to stay. And the reason I say that is because how much are Leeds going to accept for him? He is injury ravaged, and he has been. I mean, guys, from what I've heard from a very decent source, I know he's been injured for a lot of the season, but when he's been back, he's not even been training with the side. He's not even been training with the team. So that says a lot of it. I don't think he's had a massive integration, which maybe would lead a lot of people to think that he's going to be leaving. But it's the price. Leeds spent 25 million quid on him. Does he have a relegation clause? Probably, like a lot of them will do. But overall, what do Leeds accept for someone like Sinistera, and where does he go? Does he go back to the Dutch league? Probably. I don't know if a Premier League team takes a risk on him. Does he go to Serie A? I think he'd suit Serie A very, very well, but it's his injury record. This is why a lot of players that Leeds have signed, you do raise an eyebrow at, and even the bargains that we managed to get, you do raise an eyebrow because you go on transfer marks and look at their injury history. Verba being a classic example. They're not great. The injury record isn't great. Yes, Matthew, they're massive. Primary emotion, relief, anger, happy for a reset. I passed anger. I was numb yesterday, but then I got a little bit annoyed when I was doing the stream, the recording, as you can probably tell on the recording. But I don't know. I think I'm just past it now. Like, it doesn't hurt as much as I thought it would, because you guys know, and this was always the spiral of negativity I got on Connie. You're so pessimistic, you're so negative. Unfortunately, a lot of what I have said long term has come true. I've not had trust in this board for about 2.5 years. I really haven't. Even the season, after, the season when we'd finished 9th with Bielsa, we then went out in summer and recruited Christopher Class and Dan James and Junior Firpo. I mean, if that's not the worst summer recruitment in history, it's got to be up there with the top 5. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm angry. I think I've just accepted it. And I think where the annoyance will start coming from is when we start seeing, the championship table, and we start seeing, the 24 teams, and you've got either Barnsley or Sheffield Wednesday in there, Huddersfield, there's clubs like this who are literally just, they play every season to play Leeds, if you get what I'm saying. And they won't like that, but they were literally the number one fixture, Millwall, the number one fixture this is Leeds. And I just remember how difficult it was to get over those games and get over that mental break of, being able to put that extra 10-15% in, because these teams just absolutely despise you. It's very different from a Burnley, a Sheffield United, a Luton. Leeds are a completely different kettle of fish because everybody wants to beat us. Everybody wants that scalp, and it'll be even more heightened now because Leeds United have just come down from the Premier League. So it's not only Leeds United, Hull City away, as Ethan's just said. It's not just the fact that it's Leeds United now. It's the fact that we've come down from the Premier League and everybody will want the scalp. Yeah, so maybe happy for a reset, mate. I guess happy for a reset. I think the problem would have been if we'd have stayed in this division. And this is where the issue lies. I don't know if they'd have gutted the squad. The problem is I don't know if they're going to gut the squad anyway. Coops has got a year left on his contract. We've given Ayling a new contract not long ago. Is Forshaw going to stick around? He's crying yesterday, but where's he going to go? Bamford will still be there, guaranteed. Christensen, he's still going to be there. He's not going to get a move, is he? Firpo, and then you've probably got Darko, JB, Archie Gray, Joe Gelhart, all just being littered around. So Stuart Dallas, is he going to be the same player again? I doubt it with the injury that he's suffered. So yeah, I mean, it's a very substandard championship squad when you look at it like that. Leeds need to go and invest. They have to go and invest. Simple. A lot of these players will benefit from a year in the championship. Yeah, potentially, Vic. Potentially right there, mate. Hopefully. Yelder's actually been really impressive. Yelder's been very, very, very impressive, which has been great to see. His development looks like it's gone to the next level. He's probably over Rasmus now, isn't he? Let's be brutally honest. Rasmus has just been atrocious. Similar ages. Rasmus might be a year or two older, actually. But yeah, in terms of development, Yelder looks light years ahead of him. He's a left-sided centre-back at the minute. Would you take a back four of Ayling, Cresswell, Yelder and Manning? Oh, Manning would be a really good signing. I'd like to see Ayling phased out, to be honest with you. So I'd like to see a lot of the old guard phased out. And we'll do a retained list video or something like that, like what I would do. But yeah, need a new keeper as well as Robles. Need a new right back because I think Drama will go. And then Ayling is maybe reserve. But a lot of people they all think that it's the same Luke Ayling who was bombing up and down that right-hand side when we went up with Bielsa. It's not going to be the same Luke Ayling. He's 3 years older. He looks broken at the minute, and I'm not sure he can get to that level again, to be quite honest with you. And I think that has to be said for a lot of these players. Rasmus was awful on the ball yesterday. Jimmy, he's been awful on the ball, mate, for the entire season. I like Rasmus. Seems like a good guy. He's been better at centre-back, but he's nowhere near a Premier League footballer. And I would question if he's anywhere near to the top six in the Championship as well. And a lot of you guys will say, Denmark, Connor, Denmark. And I understand that. But I feel like Rasmus is just a filler for the minute for Denmark because we're a little bit light in that position. I just do not rate the guy whatsoever. I really don't. Cameron, yeah, great shout. Himpu Zed, Cameron Archer on loan from Villa would be great. That'd be a top signing. And this is what we need to do as well. We need to go down there. And we need to bully some of the clubs in the Championship with some top signings. If Borough can do it, Middlesbrough can do it. When you got Tubarak Pom, I don't know if they've got him on a permanent now, but they originally had him on loan, I believe. And then Cameron Archer was brilliant for them this season. Archer's a proper player. He's a real good player. And the hope is obviously with Villa going into Europe that they're going to develop again. They're going to sign more players. But Archer would be a really good sign. I think Archer would actually work in the lower end of the Premier League, to be honest with you. He's a really, really good talent, very explosive, and it works in the Championship with him. So he's a really good shout, actually, him, Pooh Zed. Bradley Dack on a free, good option. I always liked Dack. I did always like Dack. I think he's been overshone a little bit by Brereton Diaz now at Blackburn in terms of their sort of outlet. But he's had I don't know if he's had 2 or 3 bad injuries, hasn't he, Dack? And I think it's gone very, very quiet on him. And they're not offering him a new contract, are they, at Blackburn? So maybe that's something to take into consideration. Someone said Hamer from Coventry. I think that's a good shout as well. Connor, what we need to understand is players who come in. Sorry, Connor, what we need is players who come in and understand what it means to play for Leeds. White snake bites. I wouldn't disagree with you, mate. I think you slap bang on the money, and the reason I think that is because wearing that white shirt in the Championship in the Premier League is a heavy burden. The crowd are expectant, and we will be expectant. Let's be honest. Right now, the expectancy for me is Leeds United, and the club statement, the shower of what club statement that came out yesterday. The expectation from me is after that club statement, even though they lie all the time, Leeds United go up as champions or promoted. That, and when you come down as a bottom 3 side, that has to be your minimum expectation. You have to be one of the three promoted again, because you have all the parachute payments. You've got, you've probably got a bigger budget than a lot of teams. Leeds have got 50-60% reduced wages when it comes to the players that are going to be coming down with us. We have a big name because we've been in the Premier League. But honestly, guys, if you're to sign for either Leicester, Southampton or Leeds, because there are going to be a lot like it was last summer when it seemed to be Leeds and West Ham or Wolves going for the same player every time. That's going to be the same thing with Leeds, Southampton and Leicester now. When you're looking at the best sides in the Championship, an example being someone like Cameron Archer. The problem is with Leicester, they can say, look, we've got world-class facilities. We've built around the King Power Stadium. We've won the FA Cup 3 years ago. We finished 8th last season. We've won the Premier League and we've played in Europe. That's what we've done when we're in the Premier League. And we're going to go back up as champions. We've done it before in the Championship a long time ago, and we're going to do it again. Southampton can probably turn around and say, look, we had an unbelievable side 4 or 5 years ago. Maurizio Pochettino, we had Pella, we had Mane, we were littered with top players, Virgil van Dijk. We want to go down, we want to rebuild, we want to get back to where we were, and we want to really give it a go in the Premier League. This is our plethora of evidence from before. And I know clubs are in different states now, I get that. But the problem is Leeds have gone up, had one good season and folded for 2 seasons. So the players are going to still have to be convinced. I know it's a new ownership, I know it's a new structure, but players are still going to have to be convinced that Leeds' model is going to get the best out of their careers, That's the problem you're facing now. That's the problem. And it links all quite nicely into playing for the shirt. Playing for Leeds United, because not only do you need to be quality, you need to want to be at Leeds. Key to us going down have been slow decisions with the hiring and firing. We need them to get plans in place ASAP. I agree. Thomas Hessen says the club statement says we're in a strong place. Do you think this is the case and we bounce straight back up? Thomas, they also said that it was impossible to get relegated. I don't trust the word they say. There was no sign-off from any leader at Leeds. It could have been written by Angus Kinnear. It could have been written by ChatGTP or ChatGPT, whatever the hell it is. Nobody knows what is going on. Is Brad Brazzani still the owner of Leeds United, or has he signed it away and he's now owner of Sampdoria? There's people saying that he's now owner of Sampdoria, and there's stuff going on in the background with him and the 49ers. It's all very, very quiet. You never hear anything from the 49ers ever, and you haven't in 3 years, really, which makes it a little bit, you're sceptical about it a little bit more. Although, you want owners like that, don't you, who aren't like Rads or aren't like Cellino previously, or Ridsdale, who just talk. So there are positives and negatives to it. But it was nice to see in the statement that it's like, we're in a strong place. But once again, are they being naive? Are they being ignorant? Are they being arrogant and deluded to what is about to come and face them? I think they might be. But you're hoping they're in a good position. I don't see how they're in a good position. Ownership isn't sorted. Director of football isn't sorted. Not that it would be, because there's no owners. Managerial appointments probably going to be in the next month, and obviously the player turnover is going to be huge. So I don't know how they're so confident, what basis they have on that. But yeah. Yeah, Lee, they have, and you're right, mate. It's not been a good 2 seasons for them, and you are bang on. But I guess they've got like a little bit of evidence, and they can say, look, this is where we want to be at. We weren't, 4 or 5 years ago, we're at this point, and we're at a really good stage, and this has happened. We made problematic decisions, but we're going to get back to that place, And you'd expect a Southampton and maybe a Leicester to be financially better off than Leeds United. You would, with the amount of time they've been in the Premier League and probably the amount of revenue they've gained from that. But who knows? YouTube user says, get players that understand what it takes to wear the badge. David O'Halloran says, greetings from Oz Connor, love the content. Thanks, Dave. Nice Irish name there, my friend. Michael says, Connor, if they'd taken a hint of the fan channels, we'd have been okay. We saw what was wrong all along. Yeah, probably right. John says, heard the rumours we are out for Rodrigo de Paul. What's it going to be? It's Rodrigo de Paul, Noah Lang, Ryan Kent, Matej Vidra, Harvey Barnes. Don't worry, guys. On the Room Mill or the Daily Leeds or whatever it's going to be called this summer, where we bring you your news, there is going to be no rumours on those players. I cannot be bothered going through all that again. JJ Smith says, Connor Carlos Borges from City. You know about City, looks a proper player, would give him a go, and looks a great shout, mate. And this is what I was saying at the start with the action plan. You go, and I think he's got City's player of the year, top scorer in that division, golden boot, obviously. He's absolutely fantastic, and they've got a lot of hopes for him. That's what you do. You go and you buy, or you acquire, I should say, the best, or some of the best loan talents from some of the best clubs in the division, the upper division. So you look at City, you look at Chelsea, you look at Man United, you look at Arsenal, you look at all of them, and you take the better players. You look at Sheffield United, are a really good example of it, when they got James McAtee and Tommy Doyle from Man City. They've got obviously Ilian Ndiaye, who's been brilliant for them up front, a really young prospect, and then they've got the blend of experience as well in there. And I think that's right. I just don't think the Sheffield United players, when they went down, were as battered mentally as the Leeds United experienced players. I really don't. So yeah, Chukwuemeka on loan and Perot. Yeah, Cole Palmer, it'd be a good shout, Jord. I think we mentioned Cole Palmer last year. Nathan Teller, the thing is, Chris, he was actually on loan from Southampton. So he's going to be, you've got a championship winning side in Burnley who've been playing Nathan Teller every single week, and he's going back to Southampton, playing on that wing. So that's a massive coup for Southampton. A really good loan spell for him. Lauren F says, do you think we'll keep Harrison? Knows the fight, but is he worth it? Apparently he's got a 17 million quid release clause. I don't think so. I don't think he's going to be with us in the championship. I think, there's a relegation clause in his contract, and I think, there's going to be Premier League clubs who'd take Jack Harrison, which... Yeah. Martin says, Connor, the 49ers have been in Leeds for over a week, as is Lowry, meetings every day. You're hoping so, Martin? You're really hoping so, mate? Craig, good shout there. Good shout. He's been brilliant at Sunderland. I think he's got 14 goals this season. And you look at what Sunderland did. Sunderland were able to creep into the playoffs. They were unlucky not to get through. And it's players like Amad Diallo. They've done all that without Ross Stewart as well, the best striker, So... that's, I guess that's some positives in it. It's like Sunderland's going to be a good fixture. Sheffield Wednesday would be a good fixture. There are some good games down there. And, I just wish we'd have been managed correctly in the Premier League, and, it could have been different. But hey, at least we'll be able to get tickets now. Yeah, I've got a feeling as that, Gary. We'll go for Vieira. The 49ers want to name his coach in the US. Yeah, I've got that feeling as well. Vieira wouldn't surprise me. I think he showed interest in the job as well, didn't he, after Marsh? Mark says, let's not forget the 49ers have been on the table while the circus has been going on. Let's hope they've learned. Yeah, 100%. I'd agree. Yeah, that's why I'm a little bit worried about them, I think. Guys, if you wouldn't mind smashing a like on the video, that'd be amazing. Really appreciate that. Can't see Southampton keeping hold of him. EJM says, morning, Connor, mate. Just seen all the Twitter stuff. Head up, mate. People take football opinions too seriously. Yeah, mate, we've gone over it at the start of the video. As I say, I've just come off Twitter, everyone, just because I can't stand how poisonous it is at the minute. Yeah, it's bad. It's really, really toxic, and people are struggling with an alternative opinion. So yeah, I've come off it for a while, I think, and listen, I'll be over on Instagram, One Leeds FC, if you want to come check us out over there. So yeah, I appreciate that comment, mate. Thank you. Michael Yates with a £5 donation. Thanks for that, Mike. Get your comment in. We're also, guys, as well, we're going to be uploading, I think I've told you before, we do a little bit of a car with Connor, where I just go waffling on about Leeds United and really go into some wormholes, and we put that on the Patreon, and I've done one on the way back from York this morning to Manchester. So that was a bit of a rant from me. So I'll be uploading that to the Patreon if you want some content like that. I agree. Carl says, I agree with everything you said, Connor, but I do think we are in a good position to come back up with Gray, JB, and Joseph. Yeah, I can tell. Excuse me. I can tell you guys for a fact that the Sharks are circling Matteo Joseph. They are. So we've got to keep hold of him. Everton fan here. Wish you the best. It's been a tough season. Thank you, B Tunes. Yeah, hopefully we'll be back up with you soon. Everton just never go down, do they? Just never going to go down. Mike as well from the Blue Boys Network was, we're having chats and he always puts on his thumbnails like, we are down, relegated. I was saying to him, mate, you're never down. You're just never, ever down. As a Palace fan, I'm not sure that Patrick Vieira is the right guy to get promoted. I agree, MG. I agree. I don't think it is the right appointment. G Cook with a 99p. Thanks, mate. Akpom says, you said Akpom wouldn't have been a bad shout for his efforts this season. USM and T fans are so toxic, won't accept any criticism of American players. They think they're the best in the EPL. Yeah, I mean, some of them are really nice, and we have got American fans, by the way. We've got a lot of American fans on the channel, a lot of them who are great, and I have interactions with them frequently and speak to them frequently. Gabe's one of them, for goodness sake. But Gabe and a lot of the American fans who have been Leeds fans for longer than a year understand that there is a certain almost subculture at the minute of US men's national team accounts, which are, if you say anything, even just constructive criticism about one of their players, they see it as a personal insult. And it's very, very odd. Something I've never experienced before, but we've seen it on, me and every other content creator have seen it on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. They come in droves for you. So they don't support a team, they support players, which is it's a very, very different culture to what we have over here. So yeah, it's very, very, very different. Connor, would be nice to do a squad breakdown, buy, sell? Yeah, we're going to do that, mate. I mentioned that at the start. It's like a buy, sell, loan or something like that. Yeah, we'll do something like that. We did that last season. What would you choose for the new manager, Connor? Obviously, with us being realistic. Yeah, realism, Carl. You're probably looking at someone like Corbran. At least he likes possession-based football, keeps the ball on the ground. I'd love a Knutson. That sounds a bit wrong, doesn't it? Out of context, one Leeds coming back there. But yeah, I'd love Knutson to come in. That's never going to happen. Rodgers, maybe is a little bit of a far shout. Potter, probably on the same level, really. Vieira's probably realistic because of the 49ers, and they'll have seen what he's done over there at New York, and he's managing the Premier League. I hope they're not that just straightforward with it. I hope they actually think, deliberate, and they've got an idea of some really top coaches that we can use in that division. But probably going to be Vieira or maybe Corbran. Who knows? Matthew says Colin McKennie. Yeah, you're right, 100%. But also, you can't come out and say that on social media platforms and then direct message individuals saying go kill yourself. You just can't do that, mate. You see how that doesn't really work. You don't fight fire with fire in those situations. But yes, you are right. That is completely out of order, and that's the thing. This, it's a blanket thing. You don't judge all flipping Americans, and I've seen that, and I've gone on rants about this as well. You don't judge Americans by a little subculture US men's national team profile accounts who come out and just terrorize anyone who criticizes any of their players. You don't judge Americans by that. It's ridiculous, and it annoys me when people do that. But you also don't judge an entire fan base, a good fan base that is Leeds United, by certain individuals going at Weston McKennie for his appearance, because I've never done that. None of my friends have ever done that. I know the 99-100% of you guys haven't done that. So yeah, you don't. It's horses for courses, isn't it? Really. Do we own Dan James? We do, and we also know Helder Costa. Own Helder Costa. No, Jonesy. No, he didn't. No, he didn't at all. DM me other things which he didn't put in his little screenshot, but no, he didn't DM me that. I want player signings that play expansive football with a pragmatic manager like Carlos Corberán, says Leeds in big letters as well, my friend. Yeah. Where was the due diligence that allowed us to spend so much money on players that proved to be so poor? Not really the players' fault when they failed in the Premiership. Yeah, I mean, it was just, I'll tell you what it was, Dave. It was just them giving, and it was Andrea Radrizzani giving us just loads of money, giving Victor Orta just loads of money. And that was it. It was him just giving him loads of money, and yeah, I mean, where's the feedback been? Where's everything been? Jim says, greetings from Galway. I should get Corberán as the manager who knows our culture. Yeah. I'm very optimistic for next season. That's great. Watch the start of the stream, mate. It's all been explained. Luke says, is now a good time to remind the owners that we need a left back? Yeah, I've heard Ryan Manning's been spoken of, Luke. That'd be a nice little signing. He's a good little player. That'd be nice. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Really appreciate your support. We might be back tonight with the debrief, so stay tuned. As I say, it's probably not going to be announced on Twitter unless Gabe and Brownie want to say something on there. I know it's Brownie's birthday today. Go shout out to Brownie and say happy birthday. Keep your chin up. It is what it is. We all saw it for a while. I'll either be back tonight with just a stream where we do something similar to this. We might do a keep buy loan scenario. I might wait for another day for that. But strike while the iron's hot, don't you? And I think a lot of you are really interested in Leeds content right now. So we'll be back this evening, whatever the weather, discussing Leeds United. Tune in from about 5, half 5 maybe. And guys, have a good one. Keep your chin up. Keep smiling. And we're going to be back this evening. And hopefully Leeds are going to be back in 12 months' time in the Premier League. Cheers. See you in a bit.